Hey, welcome to Keight Krafts. I'm Keight. Today I would like to share with you a winter themed card using Homefor the Pawlidays. Let's get started. To kick things off, I have cut a panel to roughly about 8.5 by 3.5, and I am going to be making a Slimline card, which is 8 by 3. And all I'm doing here is I'm taking some tumbled glass and trying to be as heavy-handed as I can because it's a little bit dry for me. And I'm just going back and forth with the tumbled glass. And then next I will grab my other brush and then we will go through that top part there with some Stormy Sky. Now I didn't bring down the Distress Oxide all the way to the bottom because we're going to be covering that up with some glittered cardstock that I have. So again, my Distress Oxides are a little bit dry, so I keep having to go back in to pick some of these up. This year on my wish list is going to be the re-inkers because it's been almost 2 years since I've gotten some of these and they are a little dry and they need a little bit of love, and I've been putting off buying the re-inkers because there's so many other things that I want to get and so many other things that I kind of have to get in order to sustain my market life that I tend to partake in, a couple times a month, that they get put on the back burner. So here I'm just going to darken up the edges with some of that faded jean. This one's a little bit more juicier, so did I really need to use the Stormy Sky? I'm not really sure, but I kind of like the gradient of it with the faded jean and the tumbled glass. I'm sure if there was more of a area between the two, the faded jean and the Stormy Sky, you might be able to see more of a difference. So next I've got this cheapy little Krafts Smart Sponge white pigment ink that I picked up from Michael's many years ago, and I'm just picking some of it up. I mean, the pad's a little bit dirty, but it's not that big of a deal, and it's the only white pigment ink I have. So I'm just picking that up with my brush, and I'm just very generously tapping it down onto my card here. And this is the Snowflake backdrop, or Snowflake background stencil by Lawn Fawn. And I kind of haven't had the opportunity to really use this stencil. I think I got it not too long ago. I can't remember. I've got so many stencils now, it's like I forget which one I got when. All I'm doing here is I'm just kind of shifting everything over and kind of filling in the gaps on where I kind of caught the end of some of these snowflakes. So here I'm just lining up that bottom one there, and I'm just going to tap back in to fill it out a little bit better. And then I will bring that back up and then just fill out the other big one up there. Now, I have a question for you guys. What white pigment ink would you recommend? Which one do you enjoy using the most? I don't have any white pigment ink other than this cheap Krafts Smart one, and I don't really use it a whole lot because, I don't know, it just kind of sits on a part of my shelf that I don't really investigate too often. And I just happened to come across this by chance and thought this would be great. Now, if I were a smart person, I probably would have let a lot of this dry before I went again in with the second stencil here, because I end up smearing it a little bit. And when I do die cut out the scalloped edge slimline that I have, it kind of smudges everything, and I ended up getting my cutting plate for my Sizzix die cut press a little bit dirty, but not to worry, I was able to clean it off because it was still wet. But yeah, I don't know how I really feel about this white pigment ink. I find that it's not as bold unless I'm heavy-handed, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I would like a better white pigment ink, but I'm not sure which one to try out next. So off camera, I have gone ahead and used the Scalloped Slimline with Hearts landscape die, but I'm just using the Scalloped Slimline bit, and I've cut both of my panels with it. And then for the no shed glitter cardstock that I had found at the dollar store, I am going to be using the simple stitched Hillside border. It's good for slimlines too. It's very long. And I'm just going to create a little bit of a hill with it for my scene. Now off camera, I have gone ahead and cut and colored all of my images from Home for the Pawlidays, and I've used a little guy from the Yappy Birthday. I've got the candy canes and you'll see in a bit, the little jujubes that I used from Sweet Christmas. Those come in eventually. And I needed a sentiment, so I'm taking the black Soot Archival ink that I'd gotten in a kit with a couple of browns. I forget what the kit was. I think it came with a couple of tags or something like that. I got it from Michael's. I had a coupon a long time ago and used it, and kind of didn't realize what I was buying when I bought it because it was early on in my card making journey, and I had no idea between the differences between Archival and Distress and Oxides, and was kind of perplexed by it for the longest time, and then realized it's an Archival ink. So if you don't know what an Archival ink is, there are plenty of videos out there describing what each ink is, and maybe eventually I will do a little tutorial on my journey on figuring out what inks were inks. Of inks. If you ink what I ink. Sorry. So I'm gluing down my little hillside here, and I'm careful not to squish it down because I don't want the glue to adhere completely just yet, because I want to tuck these guys in underneath. Now I've got the candy canes that I'm just gonna kind of line up the best that I can on either side, and then I will have two kind of in the middle, but on either side of each of the dogs. They're kind of framing the dogs, I guess you could say. So I'm just going to line everybody up here and have them all together like they're singing Christmas carols or something, but only one of them is owing. So, yeah, I don't know. I was kind of keen to get on using this new stamp set because I hadn't really taken it out of the package yet, and truth be told, I hadn't even cut the dies yet. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to use the stamp set because if you haven't watched my previous video, we have a Lawn Fawn hop going on at the time of this recording. This is this voiceover I'm doing October 3rd, and our hop aired October 1st of 2023. And if you are catching this before October 8th, I think it is, you still have a chance to win a prize. So I'll make sure to leave a link in the description box below of my previous video, or you can catch it up here somewhere in the corner, or watch it after you're done, or not watch it at all. That's entirely up to you, but this is part of one of the giveaways, is an actual set for the Home for the Pawlidays, which is a Simon Stamp exclusive. So you might want to catch that last video, and if it's way long after the actual event, I am so sorry. I wish I had hundreds of them to share with you guys, but instead I will just share a little bit of inspiration with you. So all I'm doing here is I have a white glazed pen, and as my friend from Liz from Let's Get Lizical likes to say, she likes to do controlled snowflakes, and that's kind of the thinking I was doing here, was controlled snowflakes with a white glazed pen. And then, of course, I thought I would bring in my Uniball white gel pen and add a couple of little lines around the little doggos here. I think they're really cute, especially the one with the little gingerbread cookie in his paw, or in his mouth, sorry. And I don't know, I thought about doing these guys in maybe a Halloween theme because it's only the beginning of October, and albeit I was a little begrudging to do a holiday card or a winter themed card because I still want to celebrate Halloween. I love Halloween, and it doesn't get as much love as I'd like it to get, especially where I'm at. Usually it's rainy and gross during Halloween proper, and I only ever see anywhere between 2 to 6 kids, a year for Halloween, and I just love seeing the children in their little costumes and stuff like that. So I decided, why not? I better do a holiday card, so that's what I've done here. And what I'm using for the candy cane is I have a clear glaze pen by Sakura. You'll have to excuse my dinging. My watch is dinging, telling me I have notifications because I forgot to turn off my watch. So once I've gone ahead and colored in all of the little bits with this glazed pen, and then once I'm done all of these guys here, which, I don't know, I kind of like the after effect of this glaze pen on the little jujubes. And I mixed one apparently. So once I've done that, I'm going to go in with my Stardust pen just to give the little doggos a little bit of sparkle. Like they're catching maybe some snowflakes. I don't know, I just thought this would be a nice added touch. I mean, they're not realistic. So I guess the sky's the limit when it comes to creativity and doing something with the little cartoon images. And I kind of liked it. I kind of like the little shimmer and shine with this. And I figured, you know, instead of doing less is more, I'll add a little bit of the Stardust pen to the white on the candy canes, just to give them even more sparkle. And I kind of think the sparkle goes nice with the glitter cardstock that I used for this. So here I've got my little glazed black pen here that I thought, why not? Keep in sync with all the glaze and the Sakura, that I'm going to go over all of these little letters as best as I can with this black glaze pen, just to give them a little bit more dimension and darken them up. And I think overall I do like the effect that this has. It kind of adds into the shine, and I thought, well, you know, I might as well do the little doggy noses, and I think maybe I will call this card done. So here you have it. There is my finished card. All it needs is a card base, and I think this card looks cute. And what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care.